Hi, this is Wes from Wes Ward Auto Repair, 1193 Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. It is springtime, hopefully springtime, and we just want to point out a few things that could go wrong with your car as the potholes and frost heaves start to show up on the roads around town. So I just want to point out a few things that are very basic to your vehicle and some of the things that you may hear when you take your car in for repair. Some of the things that happen when you hit frost heaves or when you hit potholes is a problem with the strut or the coil spring. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about when I talk about strut. It's located in the front of the car, and it is a shock absorber. This is the strut that you can see right here, and this is the coil spring that goes around the strut. And what will happen is that coil spring can break, and a piece of it can break and can come loose from there and work its way over and hit your tire. And when that happens, it will puncture your tire immediately. You won't have any warning at all. It'll just blow out. So that's one of the things that if you hear some unusual noises, some crunching noises or loud banging, please make sure that you get that checked out so you don't have that problem. Another issue that we see a lot is people complaining about a tire imbalance or a shaking when you're driving down the road. The steering wheel might be shaking or the whole car might be shaking. And when you hear about mud in the wheels, what I'm talking about is mud that builds up on the back side of the wheel. On the inside, you can't really see it from the outside of the car, but you can see it. This wheel here is kind of open, so you can see in the back to see where the mud would form in there. If you have a car where this is more closed off or a hubcap over it, you won't be able to see that mud in there. It's almost impossible to get in there and clean it out if you try to hose it out from the back side. Sometimes you get some of it out, but not all of it, and you make your shaking even worse. So those are some of the things that we are seeing this time of year. So I just want to make sure that when you hear those terms, they're very basic terms, but a lot of people don't understand exactly what it is when they hear those. So we want to make sure that you do understand what we're talking about when we say mud in the wheel, bad strut, bad coil spring. Those are the items that you may hear about when we get into pothole season. As I mentioned, dirt and mud on the inside of the wheel. You can see some built up right here. And if you can kind of see as I peel it away that there's quite a bit built up. It doesn't really look like a lot, but it's enough to make this car shake. Another problem you may have, ball joint is right here. Sometimes those have a problem. Control arm is this right here, where those will actually bend as you're going over bumps and hitting a pothole. You can actually bend this portion of the suspension, so you want to make sure that that gets looked at. Make sure that you don't have a problem with that. This is a CV joint. You may have heard about a CV joint in the past. This has got a rubber boot over it, as you can see. And sometimes those get ripped open. When that happens, it gets mud in there and other debris, and it will cause a problem. So if you are told that you need a new CV joint, that's what the item is that they're talking about. So those are some very basic things that you can look for if you have a problem with potholes and frost heaves. If you have any questions about any of these things, I've only gone over a very few things that could go wrong. If you have any questions, please send us an email through our website at wesward.com. You can visit us on Facebook, where these videos are posted. If you have a question that you want me to answer personally, just send us a message through our through our Facebook, and we would be happy to answer any of those questions that you may have. A lot of times this is very confusing for folks, and you may think that you know what they're talking about, but you may not really be sure. We want to make sure that you understand your vehicle completely, and so you get the correct repair. So visit us at Facebook, and we'd be happy to talk to you about any of these questions you have.